Hi, welcome again to our reading from the book of Exodus. Today we'll be reading chapter 2. Chapter 2 advances our story just a little bit. We meet the central character of this book, Moses, who is also considered by tradition at least to have written the first 5 books of the Bible. We know that Moses did not write these alone and probably simply ascribed to his name, but he is the central character of this book and obviously the central character in Israelite history apart from Abraham himself. So, chapter 2 tells us about the birth of Moses, his adoption, and entrance into the royal family of Egypt, and then what happens to him after that as Moses goes to meet his people. We advance the story quite a bit. We start from Moses' birth and go all the way into his adulthood, and we end just before the story of the burning bush, which we'll read tomorrow in chapter 3. So, chapter 2 of Exodus. Now a man of the house of Levi married a Levite woman, and the woman conceived and bore a son. Seeing what a fine child he was, she hid him for 3 months. But when she could no longer hide him, she took a papyrus basket, daubed it with bitumen and pitch, and putting the child in it, placed it among the reeds on the bank of the Nile. His sister stationed herself at a distance to find out what would happen to him. Then Pharaoh's daughters came down to bathe at the Nile, while her attendants walked along the bank of the Nile. Noticing the basket among the reeds, she sent her handmaid to fetch it. On opening it, she looked, and there was a baby boy crying. She was moved with pity for him and said, "It is one of the Hebrews' children." Then his sister asked Pharaoh's daughter, "Shall I go and summon a Hebrew woman to nurse the child for you?" Pharaoh's daughter answered her, "Go." So the young woman went and called the child's own mother. Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Take this child and nurse him for me, and I will pay you your wages." So the woman took the child and nursed him. When the child grew, she brought him to Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. She named him Moses, for she said, "I drew him out of the water." On one occasion, after Moses had grown up, when he had gone out to his kinsmen and witnessed their forced labor, he saw an Egyptian striking a Hebrew, one of his own kinsmen. Looking about and seeing no one, he struck down the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. The next day he went out again, and now 2 Hebrews were fighting. So he asked the culprit, "Why are you striking your companion?" But he replied, "Who has appointed you ruler and judge over us? Are you thinking of killing me as you killed the Egyptian?" Then Moses became afraid and thought, "The affair must certainly be known." When Pharaoh heard of the affair, he sought to kill Moses, but Moses fled from Pharaoh and went to the land of Midian. There he sat down by a well. Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came to draw water and fill the troughs to water their father's flock. But shepherds came and drove them away. So Moses rose up in their defense and watered their flock. When they returned to their father Reuel, he said to them, "How is it you have returned so soon today?" They answered, "An Egyptian delivered us from the shepherds. He even drew water for us and watered the flock." "Where is he?" he asked his daughters. "Why did you leave the man there? Invite him to have something to eat." Moses agreed to stay with him, and the man gave Moses his daughter Zipporah in marriage. She conceived and bore a son whom he named Gershom, for he said, "I am a stranger, residing in a foreign land." A long time passed, during which the king of Egypt died. The Israelites groaned under their bondage and cried out from their bondage. Their cry for help went up to God. God heard their moaning, and God was mindful of his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. God saw the Israelites, and God knew. Thank you for joining me today. Tomorrow we'll do chapter 3, which tells us the story of the burning bush, the call and commission of Moses.